I never believed I'd be capable of crossing such a line. But sometimes you don't realize what's missing until someone else stirs it awake, until someone makes you feel things you thought had gone quiet for good. That's how I ended up breathless, trembling, a man who wasn't my husband pressing me against him. "It's too much. Please, slow," I whispered, my voice shaking because he was so much more than I was used to. I didn't know if I could handle it, but the instant I felt him, I knew I wanted to try. The marriage that led me there had been steady. My husband, Colin, is a good man, the kind women pray for. Loyal, dependable, always putting me first. 4 years that had been enough. We built a home, shared routines, weathered seasons together. But over time, almost without us noticing, something shifted. Our closeness became mechanical. Passion dimmed. Touches became habit. Love became duty. Silence stretched between us, and though we both sensed what was missing, neither dared break the comfort of routine. I never set out to be unfaithful. The thought hadn't even entered my mind. Until Adam. He worked with Colin. Tall, confident, carrying himself with the kind of ease that made people lean in without knowing why. I noticed him right away. The way his eyes lingered on mine longer than they should, the way his tone dipped when he said my name, the subtle closeness he maintained when Colin wasn't paying attention. Sometimes his hand brushed mine too deliberately to be an accident. I told myself it was harmless. But deep inside I liked it. And slowly, that quiet current between us grew undeniable. A glance held too long. Fingers grazing skin that shouldn't be touched. The small, knowing smirk he flashed when he caught me flushed. I knew the danger. I knew exactly where it could lead. Yet I didn't stop it. And then one night I stopped pretending. Colin was away on business for 3 nights. On the very first evening, Adam sent a message. "Drinks?" The words were casual, but the meaning was anything but. I knew what would happen if I said yes. I also knew what would happen if I didn't. Chose. Within an hour, he was at my door. The moment I opened it, the air shifted. The tension we'd been carrying for months crashed into something inevitable. The door closed, and before I could think, Adam pressed me against it. His mouth on mine, urgent, hungry. And I let him. God help me, I let him. He kissed me like a starving man, like he'd been waiting just as long as I had. His hands roamed my body as if they already owned it, and by the time we stumbled into the bedroom, my legs trembled beneath me. When he pressed against me fully, I gasped. He was thicker, more than I had ever known. Panic and longing tangled in me. "Adam, it's too much," I breathed, voice breaking. "Please slow." His lips brushed my ear. That same smirk in his voice. "Relax, love. I'll take my time." And he did. Careful but unrelenting, steady but overwhelming. Afterwards, I should have been sick with guilt. I should have curled up and cried. But lying there, chest heaving, skin burning from his touch, I felt something else. Release, relief, a deep satisfaction I hadn't known in years. I felt desired, wanted. Not as a wife, not as a duty, but as a woman. Adam drew lazy circles on my thigh, watching me. "You all right?" he asked. I gave a shaky laugh. "I don't think I can walk." He chuckled, smug. "I'll take that as a compliment." And in that moment, I knew it wouldn't be the last time. Because once you've been awakened like that, once you've known what it feels like to be completely consumed, the thought of going back feels impossible. The guilt didn't come right away. It came later, years later, in small, cutting ways. I locked that night away, told myself it was a mistake, one time, meaningless. Colin never knew. Our life went on. The house stayed warm. The marriage stayed whole. But late at night, when he lay beside me in his steady calm, my mind betrayed me. Whenever his hands touched me, I remembered Adam's. Whenever Colin moved inside me, I remembered how different it had been, how consuming. That shame festered quietly. Because no matter how much I loved my husband, no matter how faithful I had been since, A piece of me still longed for that kind of intensity. But this time I wanted it with him. I wanted Colin to be the one to make me feel like that. I rehearsed the words endlessly, never finding the courage. How do you ask the man you love to change something so intimate without breaking his heart? One evening, after a couple glasses of wine, I finally dared. Colin was on the couch, half watching a documentary. I curled against him, my fingers drawing soft shapes across his chest. "Colin," I whispered. He kissed my forehead. My chest tightened, but I pushed through. "I think maybe we should try to make our intimacy better," I said carefully. He blinked, face unreadable. "You're not happy." "I am," I rushed to say. "But don't you ever wonder what it could be like if we tried adding something more?" His jaw tensed. "You mean, you want me to change something?" I swallowed hard. "Not surgery, not extreme. There are treatments, options. Just a little more substance. More fullness." I reached for his hand. "I love you. This isn't about being unhappy. I just think." He pulled his hand away. "Am I not enough?" The words sliced through me. I wanted to shout yes to reassure him. And in truth he was enough. But I had felt more, and I couldn't unknow it. Weeks passed in silence. He spoke less, touched me less. I hated myself for opening my mouth. I thought I'd broken something permanent. Then one night he came home late and sat beside me in bed. "I've been researching," he said quietly. My eyes lifted. "Researching?" "On enhancements," he said simply. "If it'll make you happier, I want to try." Tears burned my eyes. I didn't deserve his patience, his willingness. But I couldn't pretend I didn't want it. The process took months. Appointments, nerves, questions neither of us knew how to ask. But I stayed with him through it, never letting go of his hand. And when it was done, when he finally slid into me again for the first time, I gasped, clutching his back. "Please slow," I begged. His lips brushed my ear. "You asked for this," he murmured. "Now take it." And I did. Every deep, deliberate stroke left me trembling, undone, breathless. By the end I was spent, shattered in the most exquisite way. Colin looked down at me, proud, glowing with a satisfaction I hadn't seen in years. I couldn't speak. I only kissed him deeply because for the first time in so long, my mind was free of Adam. For the first time I believed I would never need anyone else again. In the months that followed, something shifted between Colin and me that went deeper than physical. It wasn't just about the changes he made or the nights we spent rediscovering each other. It was about the way we began to see one another again. For so long we had lived side by side as partners, dependable but muted, like two pillars holding up the same roof.